So thank you guys for taking time out. We're obviously here to have a chat about Borderline. I guess Jimmy, the first question would be to you. This is partially inspired by kind of a real life case involving Madonna, but there are plenty of documented cases of stalkers. But what was it about that story in particular that inspired you?
I don't know. I think it was the inspiration of those two events happening at the same time. So of Madonna's first date with a pro basketball player named Dennis Rodman, and as a Chicago Bulls fan, I was always sort of fascinated by that. Um, and then around the same time period, all that happening with her stalker. It was kind of like, what if these two events happened in the same exact night? And that's what I just use as a jumping off point.
And I kind of feel like Paul, like watching this, I kind of feel that Paul would love the access to celebrities that we kind of get now, with people in the public eye having, Instagram and TikToks. There is this like real parasocial, relationship that has formed between, ordinary people and celebrities. As people in the public eye, what are your opinions on those sorts of apps and, the way that there is now that direct line between, fan and famous person?
Yeah, I think that it was probably a little, you needed a little more effort back in the 90s. Now everybody can just sort of stalk while lying in their bed at 10 p.m. at night.
hmm
Um, and there's so much more access now. People let you into their homes and they show you in architectural digest and all that kind of stuff. Whereas, in 92, 93, 94, like you actually had to show up at somebody's doorstep to take a look inside.
And Samara, what was it like kind of accessing your inner Madonna as Sophia?
It was great. Madonna's awesome. Sophia's so strong and badass, and yeah, loved playing her.
Yeah. It was kind of like a different look at the of that type of character because Sam has obviously played the person running away from evil doers,
Running away from evil.
running away from evil, and and I guess this was sort of we decided early on, or Sam mentioned early on, to what if she's not that scared of him. She's been through this type of thing before. She's like aware of him, of his existence. So it's not constant screaming and yelling with your hands above your head.
Right. There was one moment in the script originally where Sophia finds out that he's escaped, and you'd written that she had this like quite emotionally like traumatic response to it. And we were talking about it, and I was like, what if she just like stoically
Says okay.
just goes, all right. And I
Yeah.
think that, like, for me anyway, was like, oh, that's her as
Yeah.
the character.
Because of course, as the screenwriter, I was like, oh no, golly,
She's
gosh, she's escaped. And close up on her face and just like horrified. And Sam's just like, no, she wouldn't do that. It's like, so that kind of helped us with the draw the character fairly early on.
I think Ray does a great job at kind of nailing, Paul's unhinged nature. I mean, what was it about him for you, Jimmy, that made you think that he was right? And for you, Samara, what was he like as a collaborator? Because it kind of feels like, as serious as some of the stuff is in this film, it feels like it must have just been a riot to make.
so fun.
It was so fun. I mean, he got the job without auditioning. His audition was basically meeting me at a coffee shop and ordering, his showing up in the way like he was wearing. He says he wasn't, but I'm sure he was wearing cowboy boots, a Lakers jersey, and baggy jeans, and then just the way that he ordered a coffee and a scone. I was like, oh, this is the guy. And then we also just we we love the same movies. I mean, both like um all of the references that I was thinking he was also thinking, and vice versa. So once we kind of just had that and we were both making the same movie, he was in.
Yeah, he was just a joy to work with. I just was there, whatever he threw, I just was there to like catch and throw back and like set him up. That's what my job felt like. And I'm so grateful. A character like this, I don't know, I think a lot of dudes would have let their ego take over, and he was so willing to be foolish and silly
And
and
naked.
naked. And I think a lot of people would have, you know,
I mean, I've never worked with anybody that was we have this scene where he's diving into the pool after Sophia's tied up and he's like, "Oh, I gotta be naked for this." And he calls his lawyer and he's like, "We're doing it nude." I've never heard
yeah.
that phone call.
Just he
Uh
just he just checked his ego and he was like, I will be wearing tidy whities.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just am so grateful that he just did that.
Yeah. And same thing with me. I mean, you saying that you're just sort of like acting opposite him and whatever he throws at you, like you have to sort of match. I mean, from my perspective, it was like just keep him in focus
Just
and
follow him.
and we'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a genius.
We have to talk about the Celine Dion duet. You know, that's a tough song to sing. You know, why that song? And you know, how did you kind of go about preparing for that? You know, is that your normal karaoke go-to?
It is now.
Right.
But before it was written as Piano Man, I want to say, and that was a scene that was just there are a couple scenes in the movie that break it up and you know give you some fun and some nuance that maybe these types of movies don't often give you, but they are like it's becoming, I guess, a little more often lately. But the yeah, it was just one of those scenes that we were like, okay, they're gonna break up this fight by duetting a famous song that's purposefully not by Sophia, um, because Penny is a fan of Sophia, but she thinks that, you know, other people are obviously much better singers. That's what she would say. That's where that line came from, where you're like, I didn't write this, and then Penny's like, I know, because this song is good. So just having that break up the tension, and it was just something that I'd never seen
So
before. So we
fun.
were all
I think we just chose that song because we could get it cleared. It wasn't expensive.
we were looking for the perfect song because it doesn't and the at a certain point I was like just going through 90s Spotify playlists like a couple like a week before shooting it because we couldn't clear Billy Joel and I heard the first note to It's All Coming Back to Me that um and I was like, oh, that's where her butt knocks into it and she she played the first chord to It's
Yeah.
All Coming Back to Me. And that's just how it worked out. And I'm very, very happy that it did.
I guess sort of my sort of final question. Um, Samara, Caroline is, you know, about to debut at TIFF in the very near future as a firm Adam Raimier Dinner in America stan. Is there anything that you can tease about the project?
It's just great. It's Adam Raimier at his finest. I mean, Dinner in America is just, I don't know, but yeah, it was wonderful to work on, and if it's as great as it was filming it, then I think people will be happy.
Well, I can't wait to see it. Thank you both so much for your time. Best of luck with the UK release of Borderline. And yeah, I can't wait to see Caroline, and you know, Ready or Not to, and everything else that you guys are working on.
Thank
Thanks so
you.
much.
Thank you.